Most Moors, they don't even understand the proper concept when it comes to enforcing treaties. Only representative of states can enforce the language of a treaty. Treaties, they're non-self-executing. You can't enforce them as an individual. And again, that's what makes the Empire of Morocco so special for our people, because it puts us in a position to allow us to actually enforce the language of the treaties. But again, treaties, they're non-self-executing. Only representatives of the Empire of Morocco, or a country, I should say, can enforce treaties in the language of a treaty. And, this is so important for our people because, again, you see Moors speaking about the Treaty of Peace and Friendship, and again, making that statement that the United States doesn't have jurisdiction over them, and they're going in these domestic courts trying to enforce the language of the treaties. But according to law and procedure, the colonists, or, the United States, they understand what I'm explaining to you, that treaties are non-self-executing, and only the representative of a state, the competent authority, can enforce the language of a treaty. So, if a Moor goes into a domestic court trying to enforce the language of a treaty, well, the court is looking like, are you a representative, of a country or a state? And the answer 9 times out of 10 is no. So, they know that this individual is in error when trying to force this particular language of a treaty. And again, what I'm explaining to you is just something that, I learned on my way of getting involved in statehood, and the proper concept and context when it comes to, international law and these type of contracts and agreements. And, this is all, myself and the rest of the Empire of Morocco, we're just trying to take the steps to teach the people the proper ways, to enforce your rights, how to properly stand on your square. It's a right way and it's a wrong way. And, that must be understood if we're actually going to, get back in control of our land and resource and put us in a position, to self-governance.